The whole movie is shot handheld. I mean, I literally held the camera in my hands and sort of shot the scenes that were close up, and those zooming in shots and zooming out shots, and putting the camera in different angles, whatever looks good and whatever sort of draws in, whatever will draw you into the scene that's trying to be that I'm trying to explore. And
I just can't do this anymore, Nate.
it's just something that I also think that a lot of people should be aware of, is that you can make a movie any which way you want, as long as you have a camera. And if you have an idea, you could just come up with any kind of story, and then you can create it in your mind, and it will manifest into the natural realm if you could just become the tool of that dream and use those very simple basic things that you have available to you. I mean, if you're living in an apartment or a house, or you're in your dorm room, or wherever you are, you can create a movie out of any situation. You might be in the store trying to buy some groceries. You can make a movie out of that situation in the store. And when you're going in, you sort of shoot yourself going in, and sort of shoot yourself picking out some groceries and some food and some pantries, and you're standing by the register waiting to pay. You can shoot angles from there, and that you can put it all together later on when you edit it in the process, and when you're editing and putting it together, that you could just literally make a film out of any situation. You're capturing life. Life keeps going on, and you can capture the basic things of whatever it is that you do in your daily life, and you can create a story out of that genre. And a lot of people are more concerned about, as far as I'm concerned, I've seen a lot of people more concerned about, or wanting to fall into sort of a pop culture type of life, thinking that that's what it's going to take to make movies, or going through years and years and years of practice and acting and stuff, and not necessarily sort of using the tools that they have to create any kind of story. I mean, any scene. You can make a 5-minute scene in 30 minutes. You know what I mean? And it's that simple. It's that easy. And then, but if you add it up, if you add up a 5-minute scene, and in whatever situations you're going through, you're driving, you're in a store somewhere, like I said, and you're having a little argument with somebody, and you can capture that, and you can put that in, you could put it on some footage. You can take some footage off of it, and you bind it all together, and then it creates a story. And that's the day, in this day and age, you can just use any kind of sources that you have, and the technology is available to you. I mean, the internet has as many things as you can possibly use. I mean, even the basic things. It's very easy to do and to create whatever you want to create and make your dreams come true. There's also some mixed martial, like I said, when Nate transitions, the character Nate that I play is going through the physical and the soul and the spiritual transformation. He starts to train in martial arts, and I like to call it a heavenly regimen, because when you label things, they kind of get limited, and God is limitless, so I don't want to limit him by calling it, by giving it a title. I just call it a regimen, just heavenly regimen, or mixed martial arts or something. And you'll see him try to express himself through the art of mixed martial arts. And I watched a lot of videos for that. I mean, that's pretty much based on watching a bunch of videos my whole life, like Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris and different Chinese and old different Chinese movies, and Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Van Damme. I mean, but mainly Bruce Lee. Watching just the art of self-expression, and you watch him manifest. I mean, I spent a year pretty much, as the past year going through pre-production. I was reading the Bible and learning martial arts, doing different regiments, and going to church, listening to a bunch of different sermons by different preachers, mainly Creflo Dollar and Joel Osteen. I mean, especially Creflo Dollar. It's just he walks you through the steps. You know, I mean, it's like a step-by-step course. It's like a 101 basic step-by-step course of how faith works and who God is and how the blood of Jesus and Jesus himself is the antidote. I mean, think of men as being programs, and that program called man malfunctions, and it needs to function again. So the ultimate programmer, God, sends down or creates a program called Jesus, which can never be malfunctioned. Or the ultimate programmer, God, comes into the program where men are the programs men are living in, and he creates himself into a program. He makes himself into a program and joins the malfunctioning program so that the malfunctioning programs can use the program called Jesus so that they can be reprogrammed. I mean, if you can follow that. And that's just understanding all these basic things and watching how the world makes it complex when it's very simple. I mean, even right now, when you heard me just explain it to you, it sounded complex, but it's so simple. It's simple yet complex. It's complex yet simple. And that's what makes it so profound, and that's what makes it so awesome. You know what I mean? And I had to learn all these things and then start shooting the movie. As far as location, like I said, I used things that were available to me. I used this apartment, which I live in, and I used the church that I go to as another location. I used the gym that I work out as a location. You know, I'll go up to the roof, and it's beautiful out there, and you could just it just depends on how you shoot it. It depends. You have to see. You gotta have a good eye. It depends on how you look at the different angles, and you can kind of make him. You can. It manifests into a conception of just different types of angles, and it's about you trying to use those tools and sort of creating an imaginary situation. So location, you have buildings, you have cars, you have roads, and you have the sun and the clouds, and when it's raining and stuff, and you add all these things together, and you have your physical being, and it just when you put it all together, it becomes a stretched out story. And I mean, it's beautiful, and it's something that I've always wanted to do, and it's now coming into life. And hopefully people like it, and hopefully people see what I was trying to do, and I believe that they will. And that's pretty much what it is. I worked with Isaiah Campbell about a year ago on a movie called Crumble, and he did the score for that too. He's a really good producer, and he's also one of my good friends, and he did a great job. He has a very eccentric approach too, just like I do, and that's what made me want to use him. And plus, he was one of my friends, so it's always good to use people that you know that are professional and that are not necessarily indecisive. He's very focused on the music that he wants to make, and I like working with people like that. I like working with people that know exactly what they want. I auditioned a couple of actresses, and Natalie Brem, who plays B, was perfect. I mean, she was great. She did exactly and performed exactly the way the character required, and she was very professional, and she knew exactly how to show and tell the truth, which is what I wanted, you know. And you always want someone to be as honest as they possibly can, if not honest all the way, you know what I mean? You want to be a testimony to the truth. And you know, me and her talked about being a messenger of truth, and she did great. I mean, her character was beautiful. I mean, even though she's not in the movie that much, still, when she comes on, you can see that there's a drawing attraction. You know, the camera speaks to her, and she's great. I mean, she was great. So the movie's called The Guardian Angel, starring Nahor Solomon, directed by Nahor Solomon from Solomon Films, and hopefully you like it. And be sure to get it. Be sure to watch it and learn from it. And I hope that it brings the message of truth into your life, and that you can use that truth and hopefully help others with it. So thank you, and God bless.